Cape Town to over 5,000 people. He said to JC, if you want what I've got, you got to go do what I did. And he said to JC, you blow up Pretoria, and when you've got to a certain number in Pretoria, I'll get on a plane and I'll come there. So I need you to hear this story, because a lot of people think that they need to get into the business and their sponsor's going to come and hold their hand from day one. And JC didn't have that. JC and Charmaine needed to explode their area before Darren got on the plane and came to Pretoria. And they're going to explain exactly what they did to get that done. So they went to work, and JC was a 2-time college dropout. So you don't need to have a university degree to get started in a business, as long as you see where you're going. And that's what JC and Charmaine saw. Charmaine was 20 at the time, if I'm not mistaken, and she was busy writing her law degree. So she could have made an excuse and said, you know what, number one, I think I'm too young. Number two, I'm already committed to finishing my law degree and I can't be distracted and do something else. Neither of these two individuals made any excuses. Both of them got started, ignorance on fire, knew absolutely nothing, got passionate and excited about what we're doing, and they went to work. And they very quickly blew up Pretoria to where they had regional marketing director. I have massive respect for them. I cannot wait to stand on stage with these two individuals and train with them. And I am so privileged to welcome the two of them onto this training call Namibia this morning. They are going to pour so much prosperity into you there. So JC and Charmaine, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Sally. Can you hear me?
Charmaine, I can hear you. So Team Namibia is waiting for you. And first of all, I want to thank you for being on this call with us this morning. I know that you poured into Durban a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to be seeing you in a few weeks at your wedding. So I know that you're counting down to that. God bless you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Sally. We're very excited to have you there. You and Andrew literally became family in such a quick little moment of knowing you guys. We have such a huge respect for you. I mean, putting together this call for a definitely didn't have. So for you doing this, huge respect for you. I just want to know if everybody can hear me in that room. I just got a notification that my internet connection is unstable. I just want to know if everyone's fine. It's sharp. Great. Okay, since your mic is unmuted, I just want us to introduce each other. So you just heard Sally say, I'm Charmaine. I was 19 actually when I saw this. I was a law student. Right now I'm 22, on the verge of getting married, and Wolf Ventures has completely changed my life. So by the count of 3, I just want you to shout your name back to me so we can get acquainted. Is that okay?
Yes.
Cool. So 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I'm so happy to meet all of you. I'm Charmaine, I'm your friend, and we're going to have a great time this morning and just talk a little bit about how you can take your business to the next level. Is that cool?
Yes.
So I hope you have your pen, your papers ready. We're going to give a couple of tips. And the topic that I'm going to take on specifically would be on how to. Okay, so when you get started with this business, you'll see that at some point you can literally be the most funniest presenter, the most entertaining presenter. You can honestly be the best closer that World Ventures has ever seen, but none of that means anything if there's nobody in the room to present to or to close. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. If it makes sense, it makes dollars. Let's go on. So on how to invite, I mean, when I saw this, I was 19 years old. I was very shy to invite. I honestly was one of those people that wanted to know everything before I started inviting somebody. And that's literally one of the most, it's the wrongest thing that you can do. I mean, you honestly, sometimes you have to start something when you're not ready. Because the more you do it, eventually the better you will become. So I just want to talk about our goal of when you're inviting somebody, the goal is not to sign them up and to let them join your business. The goal is basically just to educate them and make them understand on what we have and let them make their own decision. It's up to them at the end of the day. We don't have to convince anybody. We don't need any of that. Honestly, we just want somebody with a problem, whether it be too little time, wanting to go on a holiday, or wanting to make some extra money. We want somebody with a problem just to connect them with a solution. That's our only goal in this business. And honestly, when you're inviting somebody, your intention while you're inviting them really does matter. They will honestly see through your intention the second you start speaking to them. I met up with a young guy the other day, and we were talking about what we're doing, and eventually, because he's in my area, I was like, well, have you heard about World Ventures before? And he said, yes, I actually saw it a couple of weeks ago, but the lady that invited me, I honestly just felt like she wanted to make money off of me. And if you're that type of inviter, people will notice. So you have to invite somebody with their solution in mind, okay, on how you can help them, not help yourself, not help your cycles this week, not have a personal sales bonus, not grow your team, but how you can help the individual sitting in front of you, okay? So when you're inviting prospects to an event, and because I was young, I was obviously surrounded by other young people. And I feel young people especially can be, honestly, they can be bullies. They honestly don't want the sun to shine on anybody else. They are so competitive because we're all out there trying to make a living and trying to build something that will sometime in the future set us financially apart. Started hearing this or inviting some of my friends to the presentation. They were also 19 years old. Most of them were law students as well. And some of them literally humiliated me when I invited them. And through this, I just realized that when you're inviting somebody, you honestly have a willingness to be publicly humiliated. You have to honestly put yourself in an uncomfortable position time and time again and actually just deal with it. I remember after I invited one of my law friends, the very next day we had a test. We were writing an exam. There was about 200 students in the location. I'm somebody, if you know me, I'm always late, okay? So I was one of the last individuals to step into the exam location. And that kid, the guy that I invited the previous day, he made this comment while I was walking into a room full of people. He shouted at me, why are you here? Aren't you a millionaire yet? Okay. And I remember feeling so humiliated and put me back for a couple of days because, like, this is not fun. I didn't sign up for this. But once myself and JC got our very first check, we went on a little bit of a date night to places that we couldn't go to before, places that were just out of our reach financially, places other than McDonald's basically. Okay, so we went to this nice restaurant called Crawdaddy's, and while we sat down, we ordered a couple of drinks, and up next comes our waiter. And turns out our waiter is the very same guy that made this comment in front of a room full of people. So that's just something to hold on to. Sometimes the people that speak the most hate about you are the people that are so jealous of what you have. Okay, so when you're inviting, there's literally nothing that will stop you but you. The person standing in your own way. So you need to get out of the way and think about the person that you can help. Think about the person that's literally waiting on the other side of your obedience for you to show up, for you to make that call, for you to invite them to a presentation. So what I want you to do immediately, if you haven't already, if you're a brand new member especially, but even if you've been in a little while, okay, so I know Johanny especially, she's been in for a little while, and sometimes you can feel like you've been through your list. But right now, I want you to start creating a new list because, Johanny, you've met new people in the last year, okay? And sometimes what we do as new members, we make one list and think that this is our forever list to work on. But the goal for you should be to at least add 2 to 5 new people to your list every single week, if not daily. Okay, so what I want you to do is literally empty your mind on paper. Take your contact list, take your Facebook list, and literally write down every single name. Anybody, okay? You cannot prejudge people. You cannot play God, okay? You cannot decide for them if this opportunity is for them or not. The only way they will know is if we'll ask them, okay? So Facebook list, contact list, social media, email list, everybody that your friends know on Facebook, add them on Facebook, okay? And never ever think of a prospect as a destination, but think of them as a doorway. What I mean by that is that I met a cold market prospect on Facebook once, a couple of months ago. I met up with him in a restaurant near my area. He was very excited to get started. He actually bought a membership on the spot. That afternoon, he canceled his membership without saying anything to us, literally blocked us on social media. But before he blocked us, I went onto his Facebook and added a couple of his friends, okay? Why did I do that? Because from one of those friends saying, listen, you've added me a little while ago. I honestly cannot stop watching people around you, and you especially winning and traveling the world and not know what you're doing. I have to meet up with you. I've met up with him since. He's just ready before the 19th of August to get started. What I mean by that is that my prospect, the first one that quit on me, was not a destination. He was a doorway to who he can connect me with the next person. Okay, and very importantly, guys, do not fall in love with potential. Sometimes you'll have this person on your list and you think, listen, if I can honestly just get them into the business, they will blow things apart. They know everybody. They can get everybody to get started. And when you're in front of them and they say no, that absolutely crushes you. You felt like you've lost the entire world as a prospect. That's not it, guys. Like, don't fall in love with the potential, because I've seen literally that I thought never ever would do World Ventures and actually succeed with it, become one of the most successful people in my team, become car owners in our team. So sometimes it's the people that you think won't do it that do it. And the people that you think would actually kill it, their ego is standing in the way of them having real financial freedom. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So while you're making your list, keep in mind that the first 20 people that I want you to write down, at least 20 people, if you can more, if not, 20 people would be sufficient for you to get started. But this is people that we refer to as your hot market. The reason we call them hot market, I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee, okay? The reason we call them hot market is because they are the people that feel your warmth, that radiate warmth to you. What I mean by that is people that like you and they trust you. They could be your family members and they could be your friends, okay? They could be a work colleague that you are really close with, or basically just anybody that if you pick up the phone and you say, listen, this is Charmaine or this is Johanny, they will know who they're talking with, okay? They will not be surprised, or you don't have to explain yourself of where you met them or whatever. Anybody that will know who they're talking with, that is your hot market. And there's a certain way for us to invite them where, apart from people that you haven't seen in a little while, or people that you don't know, or people that you only know online, okay? So inviting your hot market, meaning anybody that will know your name when you call them. We have a 4-step invite. So you can write that down. 4-step invite. I'm going to give you the first one. When you pick up the phone, you call them, you have to be in a hurry, okay? So when you're calling them, you can say something like, listen, I'm quickly stepping into a meeting. I only have a couple of minutes. I want to know what you're doing tonight. Okay, the reason we want you to be in a hurry is because it keeps your prospect from asking too many questions, okay? So they know that you're in a hurry. They know that they only have a couple of minutes with you. So they're only going to ask the basic questions when you're inviting them, which is, where do you want us to meet? What time do you want us to meet? Sometimes, what do you want me to wear? Okay. So that's all the questions that they can ask. They can't ask you something like, what is it? What do you want to tell me? What are you so excited about? Okay. So I learned very quickly on, though in the beginning, I didn't say I'm in a hurry. I used to say, listen, I don't have a lot of airtime, so I have to talk quickly, and then I would go on. Until I had this one aunt where I tried this with, and she literally just said, okay, wait, I'm going to call you back. She hung up the phone and she called me back immediately. And I knew that this conversation is going to be at least half an hour long. And I didn't know what to say. I literally just I didn't know what to say. Okay, so be in a hurry. Next thing, clear the date. So listen, I don't have a lot of time. I'm stepping into a meeting, but what are you doing tomorrow night at 6? Or what are you doing tonight at 7? Okay, I usually used to invite only for like the next, either this day or the next day. I don't like to invite longer than that because firstly, people forget. Secondly, they can think of an excuse of not to come. And thirdly, like an emergency popping up or whatever. And thirdly, somebody that they know who are closer to them might get to them before you. Okay. So I usually just invite for today or the very next day. So clear the date. Next thing is get excited. Okay. Once they said, listen, they are free, you get excited. You be like, listen, I have to see you. I'm so grateful that you have that open spot. I'm going to take it. Okay. I want to see you. We are having catch up for a little while. Let's meet up. I have something very excited to tell you. Okay. Next thing, number 4 is confirm the date. So they'll be like, cool, I'm very excited to hear what you're so excited about. And you be like, cool. So I'll see you then tomorrow at 6 at Joe's Beer House. See you there. Okay. And what I'd like to do, if I'm inviting them for the next day, during the course of the next day, but in the afternoon-ish, I would send a message, something like, listen, I don't know how packed Joe's going to be tonight. So I actually just called and made a reservation just in case. So I'll see you there tonight at 6. The reason I do that is because once you made a reservation, even though you probably didn't, but if it is like a busy place, actually do go and make a reservation. Saying that you made a reservation means that you have from your side, you made the call to the restaurant, you committed to make a reservation, and now your prospect is like, wow, she went through all this trouble. I'm really going to show up today. The reason why I say this is because only about 20% of the people that you invite will actually show up to the presentation. Okay. So if you've ever invited somebody to a presentation, all of them showed up, you are not doing World Ventures yet. Okay. You are only doing World Ventures when you have stood at the door at the weekly presentation, standing like this. We call this actually the World Ventures salute. Okay. So you standing like this, the video is already playing, but you're like, no, I'm waiting for my prospects. They'll be any second. Okay. So basically only 20% of the people that you invite will show up. Okay. And this has nothing to do with you. This is literally just here, okay? It has nothing to do with the presentation. It has nothing to do with the opportunity that you want to share with them. It all has to do with them and whatever they're going through, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself if your prospects don't show up. The reason why I tell you that only 20% shows up is that if you have a goal to have 10 people at the presentation, you need to at least invite like 50% or 100%, 50 people or 100 people in order for 20% to show up and you to actually have 10 people in front of you. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So anyone in the room right now, I just want to know if this is valuable info for you, if I'm going to continue with this. But has any of you ever run through your hot market, meaning you've run through your list and you now need to find a way to invite people online? Do any of you have that situation right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So because I was very young, the people that I was inviting, they really were not financially suited in the beginning, especially to do world ventures. So even though I would show them, they were 19 years old like me. They were students like me. And you just said, Sally said, most of them also had this excuse of, listen, I'm already doing law school. I can't focus on anything else right now. So I had to find a way to make friends with people that were not in my peer group, people that I didn't know. And the best way to do this for me was through social media. Now, I used to be the person that if you were to take a photo of me, I would literally hide my face. I hated taking photos of myself or having my photo taken. If I needed to send a photo of myself for somebody to literally like know who I am, or for CV or anything like that, used to be the hardest struggle for me. The only photos that I had is that if somebody else was standing next to me. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that if you look at my social media right now, you might think that I've been doing this forever, but honestly, I promise you, I have not. Before World Ventures, on Instagram, I literally had 100 followers. On Facebook, I only had about 300 friends. Right now, I have about 3,000, almost 4,000 friends on Facebook. I have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram. So this everything I grew from starting World Ventures. Okay, does that make sense to you? So when you're reaching out to a new prospect, you obviously have had them on your Facebook or on your Instagram for a little while. What I like to do is I always like keep in touch with them. Like I like some of their pictures, I comment on some of their stuff, even though I don't know them. I would say something like, wow, this is such a cute dog. Like this is the cutest dog that I've seen all the entire day. Okay. Like their stuff. Then they post like a funny meme, like they share something that's really funny. I interact with that. I say, wow, thank you for the laugh. Okay. But just connect with the person that you want to invite, because this is a relationship business. This is a belly to belly business. And I think the problem that most people do on social media is they just want to get the information out. But if there's no relationship, if there's no trust, people will never join you. People join you if they like you and they trust you. Okay. So keep that in mind when you're running your social media, when you're sharing about yourself. Let people feel like they actually know you. Okay. So when you're reaching to somebody else, reaching out to somebody new on Facebook, or somebody that went to school with you and you've lost contact for about 10, 20 years or whatever, there's a first message formula, and you can write this down. Okay, so you will say, hey, Johanny, and I first sentence. I saw you update your profile picture. Where in Namibia did you take it? It is gorgeous. I need to go there. Okay? I always try to make that first sentence be a compliment. Listen, thank you for sharing all that funny stuff on Facebook. I really appreciate that. It really makes me laugh every single day. That's so great. Okay, so enticing first sentence or compliment or anything like that. Why you're messaging them? You're probably wondering why I'm reaching out to you. I honestly feel like we haven't catch up in ages. I remember you being such a cool kid, or us having such a nice conversation in the coffee shop, or meeting you on a vacation. It was so much fun. And you want to get a connection point or create excitement. And I thought you'd just be a really nice person to connect with again, or talk with again, or actually just meet. I'm always looking for nice people, amazing people to with, and you look like one of those individuals. You ask a question to keep the conversation going, okay? Like, how old are your kids? About the profile picture, you literally ask, when did you take it? You have to ask a question to just keep that conversation going, okay? Otherwise, they just say thank you, and you didn't, like, you don't know what to do after that, okay? So a follow-up formula, once they respond to the, you respond to the answer to the question that they've given you, the question that you've given them. Okay, so how many kids do you have? 3. How many, when did you take that picture? I'll take it as Joe's beer house. Can you guys realize that I've never been to Windhoek and the only place that I literally know there is Joe's Beer House? I will use that for every single example. Okay, now we want to create a relatability thing. Okay, so if they say, they have 3 kids, you want to say something either I have 3 kids, or doesn't necessarily need to be 3. It can be 2, it can be 4, it can be 7, okay? Or if you're young, you can be like, wow, that's such a good number. That's actually what I want too. Okay, just have a relatability point, something that you have in common with them, okay? If Joanne said where she took that nice picture, you can be like, wow, okay, I honestly need to go there, need to put that thing on my bucket list because I like to travel, and kind of find a common point or a relatability thing in your story. Okay, now you can go ahead and do a short story. Okay, if she told you where she took that nice picture, you can say something like, I recently started traveling a lot and I'm looking for new places to put on my bucket list. Thank you for sharing this with me. Okay. After that, you can go into a leading question. That is where you direct someone on where you want them to go. And this is literally questions like, what do you do? How long have you been doing it? And once they say, listen, I've been doing it for 10 years or something, you can say something like, wow, if you've been doing it for so long, you must probably love it. And if depending on what they say, you can say something like, have you considered doing anything else? Most of the time, people don't love what they're doing. So if you tell them, have you considered doing something else, or do you keep your financial options open, that just really gives you an in to go over to the closing formula. Where is the closing formula is actually where you get them in front of the information. So you acknowledge the prospect situation. If they say they've been doing it for 10 years, they haven't had a raise in 5 years, they never go on a holiday, this is where you acknowledge the situation. Listen, I know what you're going through. I've been in the same situation, or a close friend of mine has been in the same situation. And on what you shared with me right now, I may or I may not have a good solution for you. Really emphasize I may or I may not. The reason for that is it comes over as more professional, not desperate, and people don't like you to say, listen, I have something that would be perfect for you, okay? They don't want you making decisions for them and telling them what's good for them. So you giving them the option to say, listen, this may or this may not be good for you. Just puts them at ease straight away. Okay. And then you offer to send out the information. If you can meet up with them, you meet up with them. You go through, clear the date, confirm the time, get excited. You go through all of that if they're in your close proximity. If they're in a different country or they're in a different state, you obviously want to show them online. So you say something like, listen, let me know when you have some internet connection in about 30 minutes free for to talk. Once they say, you send out the link or you send out the Zoom code or whatever way that you choose to expose them to the information. And don't send out the link, don't send out the code until you get a positive response. Until they tell you, listen, I have time now and I have internet now. Don't send anything until you get to this point. Okay. Last thing, and very most importantly, is keep track on who you show. Get a book, get a piece of paper that you can refer to time and time again of people that you showed World Ventures to. Put down the date that you showed them World Ventures, their names, their contact numbers, the reason that they didn't join or the date that they joined. Okay. The reason why I want you to write down the reason they didn't join, so whether it be money, whether it be time, whether it be whatever the case may be, sometimes it's just not their season. Sometimes seasons have to change for them to actually need or want World Ventures, okay? And that can be 5 months later than the first day that you showed them. It can be 6 months, it can be 3 years, okay? But for me, keeping track on who I showed recently made me realize that eventually everybody that I showed joins World Ventures at some point or another. The thing is just, are you going to be the last person that show them? Are you going to be the person consistent showing up and say, listen, remember I'm doing this? What I like to do is right now when I was in Mexico, I sent out a photo of myself in the pool in Mexico with a cocktail in my hand to every single prospect that I showed in the last year, and just said something like, sending love from Mexico. They need to know that you are still doing World Ventures. They can refer back to you when the seasons change, like when they lose their job, when they feel like they honestly cannot take it anymore. They need to know that you are still out there, you are still pushing this. And by you keeping track of this prospects, because you can show them again and again and again. Okay. Very last thing I want to say about inviting before I give over to JC is when you're inviting, whether you're making the call, whether you're sending this on a voice note, or whether you're sending this on a message, inviting is not presenting. Okay. Inviting is not you telling them to get full. Inviting is not you telling them about the amazing dream trips that we have. Inviting is not you talking about the dream trip points or the next dream trip that you're going to go on. Inviting is just a way for you to get them in front of the information and let the information do the rest. Okay, so right now I'm going to give over to JC. JC is the reason why I started World Ventures. He actually saw this information without me, or didn't see the information without me. He made a decision to get started because I know he knew kind of that I'd be the skeptical one. He knew that I'd be the most careful one, and he got started with this. And even after he joined, he first said, "And this is what I've done. This is what I've joined." And in the beginning, I didn't see the vision quite like he did. Okay, I wasn't super excited about it, especially because he just told me what's it about. He didn't show me the information. Okay, and I was very confused. And up until the point where he literally made about, how much was it, like 15,000 Rand or something in his first 2 weeks, I realized that in 2 weeks he's made more money, bless you, than I've made in the past year. I knew that, listen, there must be something there. Whatever he's doing, I honestly need to get on board with this, or he's got to leave me behind. Luckily, I knew he loved me, so he'd share the money with me. I'll go on the vacations with him. But doing this with your partner is literally one of the most exciting things about World Ventures. If you don't have a partner, don't stress. We just came back from Mexico, and we've met so many couples that met in World Ventures, whether it be at an event, at a travel party, on a dream trip. People that are now married for 10 years that actually met on the very first dream trips that World Ventures have. But yeah, building this with your partner is so exciting. Seeing him grow into the leader and the man that he is today has just been one of the most jaw-dropping experiences to see and to witness that. So I know he's going to give you some great nuggets. So I think that you guys, it's just like wiggle or something, get excited, sit on the top of your seats and whatever. Something, if you've got some value from me, I promise you sitting in front of him is going to be just so much better. Okay, so I'm going to send you off, guys. Congrats on being in the room today, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, how's this exciting room looking this morning?
We are
okay,
excited.
So I see you guys. Hey, you guys still on?
Yeah, my brother, we couldn't miss it
Okay.
for the world, eh?
You rock stars, you rock stars. Thank you guys for always organizing these Zoom calls and always being on standby for anybody's team to help and assist with the Zoom calls. So, Joanne, you guys can still hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Because I see you guys got a nice sunshine there, which we have the cold today. So I was just sitting here sipping my coffee while listening to Charmaine, and I was thinking, damn, I wish I had these nuggets when I started out my business. Because, like she said, I just joined. I saw the vision immediately. But one thing that literally got me motivated at the beginning and literally pushed me to get signed up, guys, was excitement. I mean, that's the number one thing people will join your business. And a little bit about myself, for those of you that do not know me, I know a couple of you in the room have met me in Namibia previously. So if there is a couple of you, quickly raise your hand. I just want to see who have met me. Okay, I see a couple of individuals there behind you. So yeah, guys, before I was a twice college dropout, for the people that don't know me. And prior to that, I literally wasn't the most confident person, if you want to call that. I was the type of individual that when I met a beautiful lady, I would normally be able to say hello, and then I'd be the person standing there and having a very awkward conversation with JC in his head. So I see my brother laughing there. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. So, guys, I literally was that type of person. I wasn't the confident person I am today. I wasn't the person that literally knows what to say or what to do. I was always overthinking everything, always in my head also. I was like, shucks, what's she thinking? What can I do? And through this company, I've grown. I literally became a product of the system. And first things first, guys, I'm going to focus on the most important thing that literally got me to where I am today, is the view from the edge. I need you guys to understand, you can be doing these calls, you can be at the Saturday trainings, but this is nothing compared to Mr. Mark Cassetta. That guy is a boss in this business. You can say a legendary person, and he will literally give you everything. We literally give you snippets of this business, and he literally helps you to create duplication in your team. So I'm going to speak a little bit about creating some duplication. But back to twice college dropout. I went to go work for 2 years. Now, some of you are working in the room, some of you probably not. This was my situation, why I was so eager to look for something else. After working for 2 years at my job in real estate, I was the inspector, and then I went into the rental industry. And my biggest frustration was my basic salary was about 7,000 Namibian dollars. And I was like, okay, it's probably not bad for a 21-year-old. And I went to work for 2 years. At the age of 23, I went to the CEOs of the company and I said, listen, I've done my NQF4. I've literally done the diplomas on project management. I can run my own project. What is my future in this company? And they told me, listen, JC, not to be rude or anything, but it doesn't matter how long you work at this company, the most you'll probably ever earn is only double your salary, which meant 14,000 Namibian dollars. My reaction, I wasn't going to work for 30 years for someone else and only be able to struggle living with 12,000 Namibian dollars. That was my reaction in my head. That's when I started to realize I needed to find something if I wanted to make more in life than the average individual. I literally put in my resignation. I won't recommend it to anybody. That was just my life. Put in my resignation that Friday, and the Sunday I had to tell my parents, listen, I've quit my job. So now you need to understand, JC already, twice college dropout. Parents paid for both universities. Went to go work for 2 years. Didn't work out for me. Put in my resignation. Now I sit in front of my parents and I need to tell them, I failed you again. I'm sorry. Now I can guarantee you, anybody with children in the room there, raise your hand. Yeah. No, about 90% of the room. So imagine your child, can we agree you'd be fuming on the inside, but your heart would also be broken? You can be honest, guys. I know I was a rebel. I was a difficult child. Like, I know it for a fact, and me and my mom joke about it today, but that was my journey. And I mean, I remember that conversation. That was the conversation that literally woke me up. So I told my mom, I said, listen, I quit my job. I wasn't happy making only 12,000 Namibian dollars. And then I also said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll figure it out. Now imagine your kid saying, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, 23 years old, but he's going to figure it out. So she had a little bit of a go. You can imagine we had that dark cloud in our house for a couple of months. We didn't speak to each other. We walked past each other. And my stepdad came to me and he said, listen, JC, if you want to be a big boy, this is what's going to happen. We give you 2 months. We don't care where you find the money. We don't care what you're about to do, but you need to pay half of the expenses of this household. And if you're not able to do that, you're out on the street. I see a couple of you shaking your head. You agree with that? So, yeah, and I was like, shucks, now life hit me. And my mom asked me, she's like, listen, what are you about to do? Are you going to go back studying? And I said, listen, I've tried that. It doesn't work for me. Then she said, okay, well, then you need to go find a job. And I said, well, I've tried that also. It doesn't work. Now you can see, very stubborn individual. I didn't know what I was about to do, guys. And luckily for me, God came through on a different level. It was Sunday evening. That same evening, 1 a.m. in bed, I was tossing and turning. Wasn't sure what I was about to do when I found the crazy individual, Darren Dix, on Facebook. I did not know this guy from a bar of soap. The only thing that got my attention, he was on my suggested friends on Facebook, and I saw AMG 45 with a number plate saying God's great. And I was like, I want to know how this guy is driving my dream car, because I've been already telling people my next car is an AMG 45. Guy, saw him take about 18 holidays in 12 months. You know his lifestyle. You see him on Instagram. That's what I saw. I was like, I've got nothing else. Let me take a chance and message this guy. To be honest with you guys, I thought he was the most successful drug dealer on Facebook. That was my reaction, because this lifestyle wasn't possible in my head. I didn't know this is what's possible. So, yeah, fast forward 3 years later, hit the rank of regional marketing director, became LTE owner through this company, taken over 33 holidays, bought my dream car, AMG 45, asked my fiance under the Eiffel Tower in Paris to get married to me. We're about to get married in October. Everything paid for because of World Ventures. We don't need to ask our parents for anything. And I'm just saying this to tell you guys what is possible. I'm not bragging. I'm just showing you that was my background. Most of you shake your head and said I'm a stubborn individual. But 3 years later, because of that stubbornness and Marcus Seta molding me into the person I am today, I believe that's why I got where I am today. So I'm going to jump into the process of duplication. I just want to get my slides on the back here and share it with you guys quickly. So then we don't need to. And I'm only going to give you guys, you need to understand, I was just speaking to Andrew while Charmaine was talking. I was saying, bro, you know, the crazy thing is, these trainings that's happening, that information that Charmaine just shared with you, you normally only find that at a Super Saturday or at the RTE, a regional training, which either will cost you 100 Namibian dollars or it will cost you 700 Namibian dollars. And you guys are getting this information, well, not for free. I know you paid some fee there, but that's ridiculous to think what the value is you're getting today. So I'm going to share with you my process to getting to the R&D trip, Los Cabos, the incentive trip. They call it to hit regional marketing director. You need some sort of duplication in your team. And this is my key point. So I'm going to share. You guys must just let me know if you can see it. Share from current slide. Okay, let me just share here. Okay, share. Okay, can you guys see process of duplication?
Yes.
Okay, is it on?
It's coming.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you, I've got about 2 slides. I'm going to give you probably this slide only because of time also. And I want you guys to have a snippet, if I ever come back to Namibia, to see what the value is I bring to the market. So the first thing I want you to realize is, what is your identity in World Ventures? And there's 3 things I look at when it starts with the process of duplication. I always find out as a leader, what is the identity of yourself and then you can look at other individuals. The first thing I always look at someone, myself now, you guys must ask yourself these questions, but when I find new people, I always try and figure out what is their attitude. You can already, with my story, figure out I'm a stubborn individual, but I know what I want and I want to go get it. I'm aggressive at going to get that. And attitude, I also mean that when people give you a negative response while you're presenting, how do you react to them? Are you the type of person that when someone says it's a pyramid scheme, your hand starts to shake, you start getting sweaty, you start jumping into your own mind? Or are you the type of individual that in your mind you're thinking, bro, but aren't you working a pyramid scheme? Or woman, aren't you working a pyramid scheme? Isn't what you're currently doing insanity? Could you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result? So look at the way you're responding. What is your attitude while you're presenting? When you're coming into the room, are you the person that's already immediately in control of the situation? Or is your prospect leading you into whatever BS excuses they have to why they are in the situation they are in their life currently? Then the way you speak, is it loud and with certainty, or is it soft and with no confidence? I know for a fact, Annie there with you guys, she's got confidence on another level. She's got certainty on another level. I remember the first time I met her, we knew, me and Darren spoke, and we said this lady places, her attitude and the way she speaks, I could already hear in her voice, she's confident in whatever she does. And become that person, guys. I wasn't the person. I'm the biggest introvert. I hated speaking to people. You'll normally see me when we're partying in crowds of people. I'm the guy probably in the corner talking to one or two people. I'm not the loud person in a party, but I know when it came to my business, I needed to become serious. I needed to realize this is what puts food on my table. This is what gives me and my fiance the life we've ever dreamed of. Then the way we think. Are you a problem solver or are you the complainer? Are you the type of person that, let's say you arrive today at training, there where you guys are sitting, and something went wrong. You don't have an HDMI cable. The laptop doesn't work. The projector didn't work. Are you the person that's phoning Joanne, phoning Sally and Andrew and saying, listen, we've got a problem. I don't know what to do. Or are you the person that literally fixes it yourself? You become the problem solver. Afterwards, you pick up the phone and you call Sally or Joanne and say, listen, this is what happened. I fixed it with this situation. This was the solution I have for it. I don't care if your solution was we need to use a smaller screen. I don't care if your solution was we need to use a tablet. If you're coming up with solutions, I see you as a leader. I see you as someone that I can work with to go create that process of duplication. If you're the person that's complaining the whole time, you'll probably start seeing me talking less and less to you. One reason, I'm looking for the next individual to come with me on this incentive trip, guys. You'll get a t-shirt like this. You guys saw the leaders in Mexico, and I know it isn't for everyone. You guys have the fortunate opportunity of Namibia. It isn't even really launched yet, guys. Every single individual in that room can be a pioneer. But I want to know, do you guys want to be the pioneers of Namibia?
Yes!
Are you guys sure?
Yes!
Because you know the highest rank currently in Namibia is director, guys. To me, that means there's nobody in Namibia. Directors, 180 people. Can we agree 180 people is nothing?
Yes!
So let's go get the new leader. Let's go somebody, some one of you, go take market share. Let's get to the next one. Wait, that one jumps too fast. Then challenge your new members. Don't babysit them. If you're going to babysit your business, good luck in running a creche. Because if you want to babysit them once, you're going to need to babysit them forever. We got a saying in this business also, and I want you to remember this. Maybe you can write it down while you're presenting to a prospect. If you need to convince someone to join, you're going to need to convince them to stay in the business. And that's what I call about don't babysit. That already is a first taste to see this is not my leader. This is not that person's season. Challenge your new members on a way where I always do this. I never ever, whenever I sign a new person, I never ever take my laptop with. My laptop is always broken. And people ask me why. I say, because if you, now when I say I, you guys need to think of you guys, if you go out there and you keep presenting with your laptop with your new members, whenever you leave, they're going to think in their heads, I don't have the presentation. We used your Annie's laptop, so I can't do it now because I don't have it. So I try and eliminate that. What I do you have a mobile device? Anybody there have a mobile device?
Yes.
Okay, anybody got a laptop?
Yes.
Okay, which one do you prefer to do your presentations on? Your mobile device or your laptop?
Mobile device.
Mobile device, laptop, whatever. Some will say tablet. So this is what I do. If they got a laptop, I put my presentation slides on a USB stick and I take it with and I say, listen, my laptop's broken at home. Bringing a stick with, can we just use your laptop? And I load everything on their computer and I do it on their device. If they have, I'll take my laptop with, I'll say, I'm going to load it on your mobile device, but we're going to use your mobile device to do the presentation. Challenge your new members. It's going to be uncomfortable for them. They're going to say, no, let's rather use your stuff. But if you want duplication, this is stuff you need to follow. Next, show up when you make commitments. If you tell someone you're going to be somewhere, I don't care what excuse you think about beforehand. I don't care about what excuse you think 1 minute before it's happening. If you cancel these commitments, people will identify this as in your leadership skills. People will see that you're not serious about this business. And secondly, they'll realize that you fake and you don't want to see them win in this business. So make sure whenever you make a commitment, you always follow through with that commitment. Do or with, make sure to create leaders while you're doing this. So this is what I do. When I start the new person out, I'm looking for the identity. How's that person's attitude? How's the way they speak? How's the way they think? If they're not that person, I'm running through them. I'm looking for that person until I find that individual. And then I'll run with that individual and make the person that I originally signed so jealous that they get forced to either level up or quit the business. They say when times get tough, you either break records or you break. And that's what I always try and get out of people. I try and get them to go and break records. Then I already handled this one, the last one. Do you always provide everything when doing a meeting or ask the new member to bring their stuff along? That is the key thing to while you're on the beaches of the world. Making money while you're in a different country, making money while you're in a different city, and still building this business, because your people will realize this business is stupid simple because you kept it simple from the beginning. Just want to see if there's one more. There is one more. Sometimes this one I love. Sometimes you've got to pretend you don't know all the answers so they can learn it themselves. Let me give you an example, and this will be what I finish off with. I've got a director in my team. Probably about 3 months ago. He's been in the business for almost a year and 2 months. Now, this is the way I do it, guys. If you don't agree with it, don't take it. But just this is the way I feel I need to coach my people and help them. So he's sitting in front of a prospect. The lady tells him, listen, I'm about to people, it's about to on board to this business. Can you tell me how much commission I will make? Most of you are getting excited in your head thinking, I've got 20 people, flip it, I'm about to get a big paycheck. Can we agree?
Yes.
My thinking is I've heard that story before and I've never seen it happen. Anybody heard that situation? Once I sign today, I'll sign my 4 immediately. Anybody had that happen to them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see that all as a similar situation. So now this is what my director did. He picked up the phone. He called me. He said, listen, bro, I've got a lady here that wants to sign 20 people. Can you maybe just tell me what's the estimate of commissions she will make? This was me, okay? And I put the phone down. Back. He says, sorry, bro, something happened. Can you maybe just tell me how much she will make in commissions because she's about to sign 20 people? And I put the phone down again. Most of you, can we agree, you fuming at me? Imagine your upline, you're calling them and you want to know, you're sitting in front of this person and you want to know it. Now, there's 2 reasons I did it. Number one, if I answered his question, I would always be the person he would call when he's sitting in a situation like that and he wouldn't figure it out himself. That's the first reason why. Number two, I knew that lady wasn't going to sign 20 people. I was creating that as a challenge for him to see how he's going to react out of that situation. Story short, he made the sums himself. And the lady never signed. And he phoned me afterwards. He said, sorry for wasting your time. I realize now. I shouldn't have called you. I should have figured it out myself. And that is what I always want you guys to do. Sometimes you've got to pretend you don't know all the answers so they can learn how to do it. I know we used to have a leadership meeting 1 year ago in team expansion where we'd always ask Sashin a couple of questions and Sash would literally give us the head office's number. He would never answer your question. And I know Sally and Andrew do a similar thing. They wouldn't always give all the answers to people. So guys, that is the process for duplication. I don't want to take any more of your time. I feel just the tips you got from Charmaine on inviting. Can we agree you can go out there and build your business today?
Yes.
Let's go have fun, guys. Let's go get the new success story in Namibia. I'm super excited for you guys because I know for a fact if there's one country similar to take over Africa, it is Namibia. But unfortunately, at the moment, there's not enough hungry people out there. And the only hungry individual is Joanny. And I think it was Cedric there that cycled also 3 times on Tuesday, right, Joanny?
Yes, that's correct.
So those are the 2 people putting up their hands. And I want to congratulate them, guys. If they triple cycling on a Tuesday, they're doing something right. Ask them. Mirror them, shadow them, work with them, run with them, phone them, get their schedules packed out. Because if you want to be triple cycling, follow someone that's already doing it. And I promise you, they want to help you. So from myself and Charmaine's side, thank you guys for having us. I'm excited to see you guys at the View from the Edge or Winning Edge if you're coming through to the Winning Edge. And then Sally and Andrew, thank you guys for having us on this call. May you guys have a blessed weekend and let's go get on a cycle. Bye tomorrow. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome, Tracy. Thank you, my brother. So before you sign off, I just want to say thank you so much for your amazing leadership. I've been blessed to stand on stage in Johannesburg. And, I'm sitting at RMD right now. And guess what, guys? You're never too big for the game. Look at the notes that I've written alone. just from these two incredible individuals. I've written 2 foolscap pages. So even though I also train on inviting and duplication, there's always something that you can learn out of this business. And I took a massive, massive nugget out of these 2 incredible individuals that we look up to. And you know, the thing is, they're so young and they're crushing and they're dominating this business simply by following the simple system and helping us to do the same thing. So guys, you know, this is a new market. You guys are still learning. And JC, Charmaine, guys, you've done a phenomenal job. I just want to say thank you so much for your incredible leadership. You didn't have to do this, but you did. And you don't have, the people in your room is not in your business, but you've got such a massive, massive heart just to share and to add value to the world. So guys, thank you so much for your leadership. And for those of you in the room right now in Namibia, guys, we're so excited of amazing, amazing week that we've had this week. I just want to say well done. You know, the energy that you guys have created, the camaraderie that you guys have created, and the fellowship and teamwork that we've had in the last week has been phenomenal. Let's don't stop now. Let's continue with the momentum that we've had. Let's crush it now with a PYP. Just one challenge, guys. You know, the distance to greatness is literally that much. What does that mean? It's from here to here. You know, whatever we do right now is all what we think and what we do. And what happens in here is what duplicates in our life. So if we can just take the next week out, knowing that you've got the PYP left for 1 week only, Friday it ends, let's just go out there and crush, you know, what we have to do in our business. Let's just have the mindset right now of doing everything, whatever it takes, so we can all get onto the cycle board by Friday. We can celebrate every single one of you in the room. So guys, take the notes, take the inviting tips. I love the one about be in a hurry. Just tell them that you're running out of airtime. I'm going to steal that one. It's absolutely brilliant. So guys, use that and let's see you guys winning big and ending off the week on a Friday on a massive, massive scale. Joan, leaders, guys, God bless you. Have a fantastic weekend. Our World Ventures week starts on a Saturday. So what we do today is going to determine how a week ends on a Friday. So let's take everything that we've learned, put it into practice, guys, and let's all of us win together as one big team. Guys, God bless. I hope this training was added a lot of value. Joan, I've recorded it. I'm going to send you the link. You can decide if you want to share this with your team. Is that cool, guys?
Yes. Thanks,
Awesome.
Andrew.
God bless. Take care. Can't wait to celebrate you guys. Okay.
I wanted to take a picture, but no.